Hollywood has seen its fair share of surprises, but nothing prepared fans for the news that Jennifer Garner had quietly tied the knot in a deeply private and intimate ceremony. No cameras, no paparazzi alerts, no red carpet extravaganza. Just a hidden celebration known only to a very small circle. The secrecy was so intense that even people close to Jen were unaware until the story broke. What stunned everyone the most, however, was not just the wedding itself, but Ben Affleck's emotional reaction once he learned what had happened behind closed doors. According to sources close to Ben, this wasn't just surprising, it was devastating. The moment he found out about the wedding, he reportedly froze, overwhelmed with emotions he had tried for years to suppress. Ben has always held a deep attachment to Jennifer, not necessarily in a romantic sense anymore, but in a way tied to family, history, and a bond formed through raising 3 children together. No matter how much life had moved on, Jennifer's wedding symbolized a final door closing, one Ben wasn't ready to see locked. Witnesses described him as visibly shaken, struggling to process the idea that Jennifer's life had taken a turn completely independent of him. It wasn't anger. It was heartbreak, nostalgia, and the painful realization that time had moved forward faster than he expected. While Ben tried to keep his emotions private, things took an emotional turn when his eldest daughter, Violet, reportedly walked in on him during what many are calling his most vulnerable moment in years. Violet has always been known as the most sensitive and observant of the Affleck Garner kids, often acting as the emotional glue in the family. Seeing her father in such a fragile state shook her deeply. Witnesses said she tried to comfort him, but she couldn't hold back tears herself. Violet has always admired both her parents and wished for peace and unity between them, and to her, the idea of her mother remarrying represented a massive shift in their family dynamic, one she wasn't prepared for. Her tears weren't about choosing sides. They were about the weight of change, the fear of losing the closeness they've always shared, and the pain of witnessing her father navigate heartbreak he thought he had overcome. People may wonder why this moment impacted Ben more than expected, especially since both he and Jennifer have lived separate lives for years. But insiders explain that despite everything, divorces, reconciliations, new relationships, public pressures, Ben always felt a sense of emotional safety with Jennifer. She was the one person who understood him completely, the one who could calm him during episodes, the one who remained steady even when the world around him was loud. Jennifer's wedding shattered the unspoken notion that perhaps, someday, life might reconnect them in a fuller way. Even if he never voiced it, that possibility lived quietly in the background. And now it was gone. For Violet, the emotional shift was overwhelming. She has always been extremely protective of both her parents, often acting mature beyond her age. But witnessing them drift further into separate futures was something she wasn't emotionally ready to accept. She reportedly expressed fear that her family, as she knew it, was slipping away. This wasn't about not wanting happiness for her mom. Violet adores Jennifer and wants her to find joy. But like many teenagers caught in the complexities of blended families, remarriages, and shifting homes, the adjustment is never easy. And this moment served as a reminder that life was changing in ways she couldn't control. Following Ben's emotional breakdown, he and Jennifer reportedly had a long, private conversation, not filled with drama, but with understanding and honesty. Jennifer, compassionate as always, reassured him that her wedding did not erase their bond as co-parents or the respect she has for him. She made it clear that their family, though evolving, remains solid at its core. Ben, though still emotional, thanked her for the transparency and expressed how deeply he valued their connection. But insiders say that even with her reassurance, the emotional weight lingered, and the two needed time to readjust to this new chapter. Fans around the globe have been divided ever since whispers of this emotional moment surfaced. Some sympathize deeply with Ben, acknowledging the unique pain that comes with confronting one's past in such a sudden, definitive way. Others argue that Jennifer deserves a peaceful next chapter after years of carrying emotional burdens. What is clear, however, is that the Affleck Garner family is entering a new phase, one marked by healing, acceptance, and redefining what family looks like when life keeps evolving. This story is far from over, and as this family navigates these emotional shifts, more details will undoubtedly unfold. If you want to stay updated on every twist and turn, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and join our community as we continue covering the real story behind Hollywood's most emotional moments.